There is a second version of the money game, and most people never find out they are ever playing it. You clock in, you work hard, you follow every rule you were handed, and somehow the finish line keeps sliding away. That is not a you problem. It is a map problem. Nobody handed you the map wealthy families quietly pass down at the dinner table. So today, I am putting that map on the table. 7 things the upper class actually understands about money, and why almost none of it ever shows up in a classroom. Quick disclaimer before we open the vault. I am not your financial advisor. I am a cute animated girl who got this job because my dad owns the building, the studio, and probably the vending machine too. So take this as education, not orders. Do your own homework before you ever move real money. Deal? Deal. Let us open secret number 1. Secret 1. Owners get paid, workers get spent. Here is the sentence wealthy people understand in their bones that most people never even hear once. You do not get rich by working for money. You get rich by owning things that make money for you. Think about the 2 ways a dollar can walk into your life. Way 1, you trade your hours for it. You work, you get paid, you stop working, and the money stops cold. Way 2, you own something. A slice of a business, a share of a fund, a piece of property. And it pays you while you sleep, while you travel, while you ignore your inbox on purpose. The upper class figured out something a little brutal a long time ago. Your hours have a hard ceiling. There are only 24 in a day, and you cannot work more than all of them. But the number of things you can own? There is no ceiling on that at all. Same city, same economy, totally different seat. The person mopping the office is trading hours. The person who owns the company that owns that office building is getting paid while the mop moves. And here is the part that stings a little. Most people spend their whole life chasing a slightly higher hourly rate. The wealthy stopped counting hours and started counting ownership. Your paycheck buys you a living. Ownership buys you freedom. Those are not the same thing, and rich people never confuse the two. Quick reset. If your brain just went, wait, hold on, run that back. That feeling right there is the whole reason this channel exists. Shake it off, sit up, here comes the good part. So the move hidden inside Secret 1 is simple. Every month, some of your money should stop being spending money and start being owning money. You buy a small slice of the machine instead of only renting your life to it. Even a tiny sliver counts, because it flips you from only an employee into also an owner. But once you accept that owning beats working, a strange question shows up. Why does the government seem to agree? Because the tax system quietly punishes you for working and rewards you for owning. And once you see the real numbers, you might get a little heated. Secret 2. The tax code is a rewards program, and it was written for owners. Let me show you the thing that honestly annoyed me the first time it clicked. Money you earn by working, your salary, your overtime, gets taxed at the highest rates in the whole system. In 2026, top work income climbs all the way to a 37% rate. But profit from an investment you held longer than a year tops out at just 20%. Same dollar, same country. The one you sweated for gets taxed harder than the one your money earned while you were taking a nap. So the wealthy do not treat taxes as a surprise bill that lands in April. They treat it as a game with a published rulebook, and they actually read the book. When they hear, hold your investment longer than a year, they hear, unlock a lower rate. Most people hear nothing because nobody told them a rulebook existed. And it goes further. Money inside certain retirement accounts can grow for years without getting taxed along the way. There is even a bracket where some long-term gains get taxed at 0. The rich are not cheating. They are reading the instructions that were sitting in plain sight the entire time. That is the line between tax evasion, which is illegal and dumb, and tax strategy, which is legal and smart. You do not need a fancy accountant to start. You just need to stop treating taxes like weather that happens to you and start treating them like a game you are allowed to play. So the rich own things and get taxed less for it. But to buy all those money-making things, you would think they use their own cash. Often, they do not. They reach for a 4-letter word that terrifies most regular people, and they use it like a tool. Secret 3. Debt can be a lever, not just a leash. When most people hear the word debt, their stomach drops. Credit cards, stress, that sinking feeling. And honestly, they are not wrong. Bad debt really is a monster. But wealthy people learned something you were never taught. There are 2 completely different kinds of debt, and they only make friends with one of them. Here is the split. Bad debt is borrowing to buy stuff that loses value or just disappears. A newer phone, a vacation you could not afford, a bag. It drains your pocket every month and hands you nothing back. Good debt is borrowing to buy something that pays you back, like a loan on a property that then sends you rent every single month. One kind is a leash. The other is a lever. The upper class calls this leverage, which is just a fancy word for using other people's money to buy assets you could not buy alone. Picture a crowbar. Bare hands lift a pebble. A crowbar moves a boulder. Borrow at a low cost to buy something that earns more than that cost. And you just made money with money that was never even yours. That is not reckless. That is a big piece of how real wealth gets built. Now, let me be straight with you, because I am not here to get you hurt. Leverage is a power tool, and power tools can take a finger clean off. The same crowbar that moves a boulder can drop it on your foot. So the rich use good debt carefully, only to buy things that produce income, never junk that just looks rich. The rule to tattoo on your brain: never borrow to look wealthy. Only borrow to become wealthy. Broke people use debt to buy liabilities. Wealthy people use debt to buy assets. Same tool, opposite ending. Quick gut check before Secret 4, because this next one changes how you think about work itself. It might be my favorite one on the whole list. Real quick, if your brain is doing that little, wait, what am I just now learning this thing? That is exactly what this channel is built for. Dragging the money secrets out of the shadows and explaining them like a normal person. Hit subscribe so your future self actually catches the next one, because these ideas only click when you get all of them together. Secret 4. Do the work once, get paid many times. Here is a question that quietly separates the rich from everyone else. When you do a piece of work, how many times do you get paid for it? For most people, the answer is 1. You do the task, you get paid for the task, done. That is linear income. 1 hour of work, 1 chunk of pay. Honest, normal, and capped by the hours you have. The upper class plays a different game. They obsess over doing work one time and getting paid for it again and again and again. Picture a barber who cuts hair versus a person who films one video teaching people how to cut hair. The barber gets paid per cut, but has to show up and swing the scissors every single time. The person who made the course did the work one time, and it can sell at 3 in the morning to 1,000 people at once while they are fast asleep. Same effort up front, wildly different math on the back end. One person is trading hours. The other built a small machine that prints on repeat. This is the quiet engine under almost every fortune you have heard of. The author writes the book once and gets paid on every copy. The builder makes the app once and it serves millions. They all ask the same magic question. How do I do this one time and get paid 100 times? Regular people ask, how do I get paid for today? You do not need to build the next giant app. You just need to start pointing your effort in this direction. Anything you make once that keeps paying is you quietly stepping off the hamster wheel while everyone else runs faster. And the payoff of building income that does not need your hands on it every second is beautiful. It frees up the one resource the rich guard harder than money itself. Secret 5. Buy back your time because it is the only thing money can never refund. Ask a broke person what the most valuable thing in the world is, and they will say money. Ask a truly wealthy person, and they will say time. And they are right, and it is not close. Here is why. You can lose $1,000 and earn it back next month. You can go broke and rebuild a whole fortune. People do it all the time. But you cannot get back a single hour once it is gone. Money is renewable. Time is not. And the moment that truly clicks, people start spending money in a way that looks a little insane to everyone else. They use it to buy their time back. Regular people spend time to save money. They drive across town to save $4 or lose a whole Saturday on a task they hate because paying someone feels like a splurge. The wealthy do the exact opposite. They spend money to save time because their time can be pointed at something that earns far more than the $4 they just saved. When a rich person pays someone to handle a chore they hate, they are not being lazy. They are doing cold math. This hour is worth more building my thing than doing this task, so I will pay to get the hour back. You can run this math right now, even broke. It is not about hiring a staff. It is a mindset shift. Every time you are about to burn hours to save a few bucks, ask the upper class question. Is my time worth more than what I am saving here? Sometimes the answer is no, and you do it yourself, no shame. But sometimes the answer is a screaming yes. And buying that time back, then aiming it at learning a skill or building an income machine, is the most profitable thing you will do all week. Poor people brag about how much time they spent. Rich people brag about how much time they saved. So now you are owning assets, reading the tax rules, respecting leverage, building repeat income, and protecting your time. You would think that is the full picture. It is not. Because there is one secret so quiet, the wealthy barely say it out loud. And it has almost nothing to do with money at all. Secret 6. Your network moves money before the news does. Here's a phrase the upper class lives by that sounds like a bumper sticker, but is dead serious. Your network is your net worth. And they do not mean it in a cute way. They mean this is literally where the money comes from. Think about how opportunities actually move through the world. The best jobs often get filled before they are ever posted, through a quiet, "Hey, I know someone." The best deals get offered to people already in the room. The most valuable information, which industry is about to take off, where the smart money is quietly moving, travels through trusted conversations long before it ever hits the news. By the time regular people find out, the people with the network already made their move. It is not a conspiracy. Opportunity just flows through relationships first and the public second. So the rich treat their relationships like an investment portfolio, one of the most valuable ones they own. Not the gross business card, fake smile kind of networking. Real relationships with people who know things and can open doors. One warm introduction from the right person can be worth more than a year of grinding alone in the dark. Surround yourself with people a few steps ahead, and their knowledge, their doors, and their standards start rubbing off on you. And here is the encouraging part, because this is the one secret you can start using today with $0. You slowly become the average of the people you spend the most time around. Their habits leak into you. Their expectations quietly become your normal. So get around people who are winning at the thing you want, online communities, events, mentors, even the right corner of the internet. And add value before you ever ask for anything. You are not using people. You are building a room full of people who lift each other, which is exactly how the upper class has always quietly operated. Which brings us to the final secret, and it is the one they guard the hardest. It is the reason the title of this video says, "Never tell anyone." Because the wealthiest people you will ever meet follow one strange rule about their own money that runs against every instinct you have. Secret 7. Stay quiet and play the game in generations. Here is the sneakiest one, because it is the opposite of everything social media screams at you. The truly wealthy usually do not look wealthy, and they definitely do not talk about it. The loudest person in the room, the flashy car, the designer everything, the constant flexing, is very often not the rich one. Frequently, that is the person drowning in payments, renting a lifestyle to look the part. Real quiet wealth tends to dress boring, drive something reasonable, and never announce a number. This is called stealth wealth, and it is not just modesty. It is strategy. When nobody knows what you have, nobody is trying to sell you nonsense, borrow from you, sue you, or talk you out of your plan. So the wealthy keep the score private and let the number quietly climb. But the deeper part of this secret is how far ahead they are thinking. Regular people think about this Friday. The wealthy think in generations, decades past their own lifetime. They are not only building money for themselves, they are building something designed to pass down and keep growing after they are gone. And the system rewards this heavily. Here is a wild example most people have no clue about. Starting in 2026, a person can pass on up to $15 million to their family before the government takes an estate cut. And when heirs inherit certain assets, the rules can quietly reset things so the family owes far less than you would ever guess. The rules for keeping and passing wealth are shockingly generous, if you know they exist. And surprise, most people do not know, because nobody told them. So the final move is the biggest mindset shift of all. Stop playing the short game of looking rich and start playing the long game of being rich. Quietly, patiently building something that outlives you. The person flexing today is often broke tomorrow. The person quietly stacking ownership, guarding their time, and keeping their mouth shut is the one whose family is still winning in 50 years. Loud is a costume. Quiet is the power move. So let us zoom out, because I do not want you to just nod at these. I want you to actually use them. Own things instead of only renting your hours. Read the tax rulebook nobody handed you. Respect good debt and fear the bad kind. Do the work once and get paid forever. Buy your time back. Get into better rooms. And keep the whole thing quiet while you play the long game. Here is the truth. None of these are secret because they are hard. They are secret because nobody in your life had the map to pass down. Well, now you do. And the wild part is, you can start on Secret 1 this week with a tiny amount of money, just by owning your first small slice of something instead of spending all of it. If this cracked something open in your head and you want the rest of the map, subscribe, because that is the whole mission here. Handing regular people the stuff the wealthy quietly kept to themselves. And the next video is the perfect next step. 6 money lies the middle class still believes. Because knowing the upper class secrets is only half the fight. The other half is unlearning the broke advice you have been fed your whole life. And at least 2 of those lies are things you still believe right now. I will prove it. Before you go, one last thing, and I promise it is the useful kind. Everything I just talked about, owning, taxes, leverage, buying back time, we built actual tools for it. Down in the description, you will find our ebooks and financial calculators over at jetsetwealthstyle.com. Consider them the cheat sheet for the cheat sheet, so you are not doing all this math on a napkin at midnight. So go make your first ownership move this week. Watch that next video and start playing the game the way it was always meant to be played. I will see you in the next one.